We finally have our answer as the number 2 player in the country. Just announced his commitment. That's not very good news, but we have more updates in terms of injuries that we got to break down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Duke Basketball 365. If you are a Duke Blue Devils basketball fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 10% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, and it really helps me out a ton. But let's start breaking down these updates. Starting it off with a tweet from our insider from 24/7 Sports, Travis Branham. Breaking news, Jordan Smith Jr., the number 2 overall recruit in the 2026 class, has committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks, he tells 24/7 Sports. And then they have an article about it if you want to read more about the Duke Blue Devils not getting one of our top prospects. This is not super surprising if you've been following the story of Jordan Smith over the past couple of days, where we have noticed that the crystal ball predictions as per 24/7 Sports have shifted away from the Duke Blue Devils to the Arkansas Razorbacks. For a long time, we were the favorites to land Jordan Smith, but something happened in the last couple days that had him changing his mind, headed over to the SEC to play for a great coach in John Calipari, and we do wish the best for this young man's career. If we're not going to get a top prospect, as long as it's not UNC, I will be okay. I understand that we cannot get every single top prospect, as much as I wish every single year was that Zion, Cam Reddish, RJ recruiting year. They just can't be. That's impossible. That's how it goes. So we missed out on the 6'2" combo guard from Fairfax, Virginia, rated as the number 2 prospect in the recruiting class. The dude was an absolute beast, but we still got our own young guard to be excited about, and that is Deron Rippey Jr. Let's talk about the guys that we already got. We got our point guard from Blairstown, New Jersey, 6'2", 175 pounds, a fantastic defender. Now, I guess we solved the problem of what was going to happen with bringing in both Deron Rippey Jr. and Jordan Smith. So now we're not going to have that problem. We only have Deron Rippey Jr. I say only, still very excited to have the number 10th recruit in the country joining the Duke Blue Devils. Deron Rippey Jr., a 5-star recruit, rated a 98 out of 100 according to 24/7 Sports. Let's run this thing back. Let's have a great year next season. But thinking about this season, we have an update, I think, on one of our guys here, Patrick Ngongba. And let me find his picture. There it is. There's Patrick Ngongba. Patrick Ngongba suffered a wrist injury a couple games ago. Jon Scheyer was asked about the Patrick Ngongba injury, and this is what he had to say. Yeah, I wish I knew. He got hurt in the Carolina game. He fell on his wrist. We were holding on hope on whether he could play today. I think that was incredibly unrealistic. He wasn't close to being ready. That was Jon Scheyer on the night of the Pitt game. So was that Tuesday night, I believe? A couple days ago, they thought Ngongba was going to be ready. Now they're telling us they have no idea when Patrick Ngongba is going to be ready. Not the news we want to hear. You would like the head coach of your program to know when his guys are coming back. Yes, there's a small chance that maybe Scheyer is playing his cards close to the vest and doesn't want to give away when Patrick Ngongba is coming back, but it feels like he's being honest here. Scheyer does have a history of being incredibly honest when it comes to talking to the media. So that tells us that he doesn't know when Patrick Ngongba is coming back. That tells us that he likely isn't going to be back for this weekend's game against Clemson. We got a really tough Saturday schedule coming up pretty soon, which is this week against Clemson, next week against Michigan, and then you would imagine in 3 weeks, or I guess 2 weeks from today, against Virginia, he'll be back. So we're not thinking about he's going to be out for that long, but we want to get Patrick Ngongba back. Him being out means we will likely see more Malik Brown at the 5 spot, which is exciting. I really like Malik Brown. He's a tremendous defender. I always say he seems like the last person you would ever want to play a game of basketball against, because his arms are just somehow always in your passing lanes and he's always knocking the ball away from somebody. Seems like, I mean this in the most respectful way, don't play in my games. Please stay away from me. I want to be nowhere near Malik Brown. Seems absolutely miserable to play against. Other than Malik Brown at the 5, we could maybe see some more guys who don't get as much playing time entered into the rotation at the 5 spot, which I'm probably more excited about. That's something that we would likely see Jon Scheyer tinker with on the weeknight basketball games, other than those big Saturday matchups, because, you know, you always want to figure out, or you don't know when a player who doesn't get playing time, you put him into the game, you never really know how he will adjust to the actual games. So you want to play it really safe there. We know we do not have a lot of room for error when it comes to March Madness. We want to make sure we are getting that number 1 seed, so we don't have another number 1 seeded team in our region. Want to make sure we are getting that top slot, so we cannot be out here losing games. But there is another injury update we have. It's not a Duke injury. In fact, it is our rivals. Caleb Wilson, the projected 4th overall draft pick, a hand fracture in his left hand. The first news break was ESPN saying he's out for the entire season. That's not what's going to happen. I have to imagine a broken hand is not going to hold out one of the best players in college basketball out for the entire year. You may think that as a Duke fan, I'm sitting here and being like, oh, it's, you know, UNC is going to lose basketball games. That's what I want to see. But this is the exact opposite of what I want to see happen, because one, talking about it completely objectively, completely resume-based wise, we lost to North Carolina. That loss is going to be on our resume come March. We want the North Carolina Tar Heels to make that loss look as good as possible. In a perfect world, we are the number 1 seed, and they're right behind us at number 2, and everyone can look at that loss and say, well, North Carolina was better than anyone else thought they were at the time, so that loss to Duke, or that loss by Duke, isn't as bad. That's one thing. Less professionally, just as a fan, I want to beat North Carolina at full strength. We are playing them in 22 days. I want to beat them at full strength. I don't want to give them an excuse. I don't want to give their fans an excuse. I don't want to give the head coach of North Carolina an excuse. I don't want to give the players an excuse. They needed a buzzer beater to beat us at their place. We are bringing them in to Cameron Indoor in 22 days, and I want to beat them down with their best players, because I know that is what our team is capable of. We are the number 3 team in the KenPom ratings right now, and North Carolina is in the mid-20s. In rivalry games, like what we have, especially in this rivalry, how good the teams are has not mattered. It's always been a great game, but other than last year when we blew them out. But I want to see them at full health, because I want to give them no excuses. So hopefully Caleb Wilson comes back and is able to play when we see them in 22 days. I don't think he will be. If it's something close to a season-ending injury for the kid, you would imagine he's not going to be back in the regular season. We may see him in a March Madness, which I would like to see him in March Madness, because I want to see everyone at full strength. I want to get the most entertaining matchups that we possibly can, and I want to watch North Carolina be at full strength and lose in round 1. That's what I want to see. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Duke.